real estate spill?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
So many young professionals are moving to the Portland area, but where should they live when they get here? Well, we're going to tell you in this video. Stay tuned to learn more. Hey, what's up everybody? This is Paul Clem and Seth Marchant with the Home Team Brokers coming to you from Portland, Oregon. If this is your first time to the channel, living in Oregon, make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell to get notified every time we drop a new video. We talk to people all the time who are relocating to the Portland area, and as real estate professionals, we love to help with that process. So if that's you, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video and schedule a Zoom call with us. Either way, we would love to help with your move to Portland.
All right, so a lot of young professionals are moving to Portland. Where are some of the best places for them to go?
In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 areas that young professionals are flocking to. These are areas where you can find some affordability. These are areas that are close to jobs, and these are areas that are close to bars, restaurants, nightlife, and all the things that young professionals like to do.
All right, so what's number 1 on our list?
Number 1 on the list, we have Central Beaverton, Vos, Cedar Hills, really the central section of Beaverton. Downtown Beaverton has really been blowing up lately, really in the past 5-10 years. A ton of great new restaurants coming into the area. The area has really become revitalized. There's some streets that are blocked off for outdoor seating. Some of the best breweries in the Portland area and in Oregon are moving into the area, as well as some of the best restaurants. So this is an area that has a ton to do, as well as Cedar Hills. You have food carts, you have a lot of great restaurants, you have shopping. Pretty much everything you need is right in this area, and you have some relative affordability as well. So if you look at Central Beaverton and the area right next to it called Vos, you have probably the lowest entry point as far as median sale price in all of Beaverton. And this is an area that definitely is ripe for revitalization and some rejuvenation. I mean, you know, there is a lot of older homes that, you know, definitely, you know, could use some work, but in particular because of everything that's going on with downtown Beaverton, this is an area where you can walk to restaurants, walk to coffee shops, walk to bars, you know, all the things that you would want to do with your free time. There's great parks in the area. You're about 15 minutes from downtown Portland, 10 minutes to Nike. And then Cedar Hills as well, a little more of an established area, but you can definitely find some good entry points as far as affordability as well. So this is an area that probably we get asked about the most for people who are relocating to Portland, because a lot of the employers in the Portland metro area are in Beaverton, Nike, Columbia Sportswear, and down the line. So Beaverton is definitely an area we get asked about a lot, and definitely an area that's worth considering.
Yeah, you know, the one thing I think about Beaverton is, you know, in the Portland metropolitan area, a lot of young people will tend to go downtown Portland for bars and restaurants and to meet other young people. Beaverton's got enough energy and enough going on, and enough bars and restaurants in their downtown that you might not need to go to downtown Portland. So it's a big enough place, and there's enough going on there that that a lot of people that live in Beaverton won't actually travel as much downtown Portland, which is not the case for a lot of other suburbs around the Portland metropolitan area.
You also have the Max line running right through this central section of Beaverton, and the Max line is going to run all the way west till the end of Hillsboro and all the way east to the end of Gresham. So if you want to get anywhere downtown Portland, anywhere on the east side of Portland, there's public transit readily available. not everybody rides it, but it's super convenient. But again, even driving, you can get downtown Portland from some areas of this central section of Beaverton in probably under 15 minutes, maybe 20, 25 minutes if there's a little traffic. But, you know, you're under 10 miles to, you know, all of the areas, you know, around Portland that you would want to get to. The access as far as different commutes really in any direction is super convenient.
All right, so how about number 2 on our list? We've got Milwaukee. Yeah, so Milwaukee is a great spot. You know, I think the thing about Milwaukee is its proximity to everything. If you look on a map, Milwaukee is 5-10 minutes from downtown Portland. And the thing about Milwaukee is if you put a pin in the center of Portland and maybe do like a 5, 6, 7 mile radius, Milwaukee is going to be about as inexpensive, maybe more inexpensive than anywhere else around the Portland metropolitan area. Again, a 5, 6, 7 mile radius. So it's a great entry point for young people. So it's a great place for people looking for a starter home. So if it's your first home and you want to be close to stuff, now I'm not gonna lie, like Milwaukee is not, it doesn't have the same downtown that like a Beaverton does. You know, it doesn't exactly have the same energy. It's got a lot of great parks. It's got things to do. It does have a good downtown. It does have bars and restaurants. It's got some great breweries. It's got Breakside Brewery, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
It's not a Beaverton, but you are close to everything. So Milwaukee's got really great proximity, and it's a really great entry point because the housing there is so inexpensive compared to the surrounding areas.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Milwaukee by and large is an extension of Southeast Portland.
Yeah.
So if you live in Milwaukee and you like a lot of the elements that, you know, kind of the more residential urban neighborhoods of Portland have, in particular Southeast Portland, if you live in Milwaukee, you can get up into some of these neighborhoods in Southeast Portland in under 10 minutes, you know, maybe 15 minutes, depending on exactly where you're going. But it's super convenient to be able to access kind of everything, you know, about Portland, that, you know, everything Portland has to offer and all the things that people love about it. But, you know, again, in particular on the real estate side, a little bit of, you know, a little more affordability there.
Yeah, you're right there on the border with Multnomah and Clackamas County. So heading south from Multnomah County, that's the first town you're going to encounter on Highway 99 is Milwaukee. That right there on like Johnson Creek, Selwood area is right where the border is between Clackamas and Multnomah County. So your taxes might be a little bit less as well being in Clackamas County.
Yeah, you're right on the river too.
Yeah, you've got Bay Park on the Willamette River right there. It's a great park, so it's a great place to access the Willamette River. So Milwaukee is a really beautiful place.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, number 3 on the list.
So next on the list, we're going to call this the hipster belt, which is inner Southeast Portland, inner Northeast Portland, and North Portland. So within you know, maybe 60 blocks, give or take, of the Willamette River on the east side of Portland. There's a lot of similarity across these areas. You know, there's a lot of kind of subtle differences too, as far as, you know, the different individual neighborhoods. But you know, if you like one area, you'll probably like another kind of in this general region. So that's why we're bunching these all together. But
yeah,
Southeast Portland, Northeast Portland, and North Portland on the east side of the river.
One big grid.
Yeah, definitely one big grid. You do get a little bit of elevation change in certain locations where, you know, you can get you know, different formations of the roads and a little more kind of a unique character. But yeah, definitely, you know, a grid. This is definitely like, you know, city residential living. And again, you know, probably the overall, like the hippest area in Portland when we're talking about the best restaurants, the best bars, nightlife, really anything you would want to do, very high energy. You know, you have a park every 5 blocks and some really incredible parks too, like Mount Tabor, Laurelhurst, for example, Peninsula Park. These are huge parks where, you know, they got hiking, they got softball fields, you know, they got big lawns that you can lay out, they have playgrounds. A lot of them have bathrooms even, which, you know, use at your own risk, obviously.
Probably have a higher concentration of food carts in this area, or about as high as concentration of food carts in this area as anywhere else in Portland.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's, you're in hipster land, right? So
yeah. So I mean, food carts is, that's a
quintessential hipster.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of kind of the Portland culinary scene. Some of the best restaurants, some of the highest rated restaurants in the Portland area also have food carts.
Yeah.
That they do a little bit of their menu off of, and there's these food cart pods throughout Northeast and Southeast and North Portland, that have 10, 15, 20 food carts. There's usually like a bar cart or a beer truck, so you could go there, spend a whole Saturday. It's a great time. All right, so what do we got next on our list?
Well, next on the list, we'll go to the other side of the river, the west side of the river, over to the Pearl District.
Yeah.
The Pearl District, if you're not from here, I feel like that's kind of one of the more recognizable names or neighborhoods. Like, I feel like people that come here have heard of the Pearl District.
Yeah.
And you'll find some of the best restaurants, great nightlife. Lots of tech startups like to go to the Pearl District, so it's a really kind of hip and like popular place, especially for young people. Not the most inexpensive. This is probably going to be the most expensive place on our list, right?
Well, it depends on what you're buying, and it depends on your budget, because HOA fees, this is like all condo living. If we talk about the Pearl District, HOA fees can add a lot to your monthly payment.
Yeah.
You can get studios, 1 bedrooms for, 500 to 600,000. But if you're looking at, anywhere, probably above 800 square feet, over 1,000 square feet, 2 or 3 bedrooms, you're probably pushing $1 million in a lot of these condos.
Yeah. Your price per square foot is going to be significantly higher in
Absolutely.
the Pearl than like a Beaverton or a Milwaukee.
Yeah. I mean, a $500,000 condo in the Pearl might be 525 square feet.
Yeah.
It may have a bedroom, it might be a studio, but
500 grand in Milwaukee will get you a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot single family home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what's most unique about the Pearl District is this was an area that was very industrial at a time, and it's full of loading docks. Just kind of the aesthetic and the character of it is very unique, and over the past 25 years, it's really been revitalized. And so, it's become a place with art galleries, art studios, cocktail lounges, some of the best,
that kind of vibe.
Yeah, some of the best restaurants in Portland. Some of the more expensive brands, have standalone retail shops in this area. So, kind of the arts and culture there is great. It's a little higher end. You're probably going to pay a little more for pretty much everything in the Pearl District, but it's a very popular area for people to spend their time. So if you're looking for an urban setting, to live, the Pearl District probably takes the cake as far as, anything in Portland.
Yeah, so when I mentioned Beaverton and you not having to go, or people living in Beaverton have enough so that they're not maybe attracted to Portland as much, because a lot of people, like I mentioned, that throughout the Portland metropolitan area that will go downtown to meet people, to go to bars, to go to restaurants. The Pearl District is one of the most common places that they'll go. So that area attracts people from all over the Portland metropolitan area.
Yep, absolutely. And I think right next to the Pearl District is another area in Northwest Portland, just kind of broadly referred to as the Northwest District or Northwest. This is really like Northwest 23rd to Slabtown, Alphabet District, Nob Hill. It goes by many names.
We used to go down there when I was in high school. Like, that was a thing in high school over 20 years ago. Yeah. I think that was the thing for like everybody. For some reason, that area like attracts people all throughout the suburbs in the Portland metro area. Yeah, well,
you're right in the city, but it's very residential. And then you have these main strips, 23rd and 21st, where you have a ton of retail shops, restaurants, bars, coffee shops, all that good stuff. And it's a little more established. So you look at the Pearl District, has a little more of a shine to it because it's a lot newer. And it's like condos and bigger buildings. And up in Nob Hill, this area, it's a ton of houses. And then you just have these little districts or strips, of kind of retail. And it's a really popular place for people to go hang out. I think one thing about this area, if you look at the median sale price, it's closer to $800,000. And the price per square foot isn't incredibly high. You do get some really big old 100-year-old, 120-year-old homes in this area. So you definitely get what you pay for to some degree, but overall, you know, the real estate is more expensive in this area. But if you were living here, you could walk down to the Pearl District. If you were living in the Pearl District, you could walk up to Northwest 23rd into Nob Hill. So these areas are kind of bunched together because of their proximity, but definitely very different in their makeup.
Yeah. All right, so last but not least on our list, Hillsboro.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Hillsboro is going to be right next to Beaverton, and Hillsboro is going to have a lot of similarities to Beaverton. One of the nice things about Hillsboro, especially for young professionals, it's not going to be quite as expensive. You're a little bit further out west, so Portland's going to be a little bit farther away from you. One of the benefits, though, is you are going to be closer to the Oregon coast. So if you're a coast person, this might be one of the top places, maybe the top place for you to go. But you're gonna find a lot of new growth, a lot of energy. You're out there in the Silicon Forest now. So tons of jobs, perfect for young professionals.
Yeah, Hillsboro has a lot to offer, but I think if you look at affordability compared to the amount of jobs in the area, I mean, this is where Intel is. They have 3 enormous campuses here. There's a lot of tech, from startups to big established, you know, publicly traded companies, and everything in between. So the economic opportunity in this area is, you know, probably on a per capita basis, you know, the best in the state. And if you look at the median sale price and home values, if you look at the relative affordability compared to even Beaverton, you know, your dollar can definitely stretch a lot further in Hillsboro. And there are big planned communities. If you go all the way out west to downtown Hillsboro, it's like, you know, old town, small town USA, you know, with really cute little shops and restaurants and things like that. So there's a lot of different types of areas. There's a ton of new construction in Hillsboro as well, particularly on kind of the southwest side of Hillsboro and Reed's Crossing. So you can really get it all, and it's a little bit further from Portland, so that's probably reflected in the sale price, or the median sale price and the home values in this area. But the Max line runs right through Hillsboro, so it might take 45 minutes to an hour to get downtown, depending on how far out in Hillsboro you are, or you can drive, you know, 30 minutes, maybe a little more, to get to downtown, depending on traffic. But it's a little more laid back. You know, we've talked about areas that are close to Portland, even Beaverton, you know, being definitely suburban, you know, for the most part, is still less than 10 miles from downtown, you know, 10, 15 minutes from downtown. Hillsboro, you're further out, you're probably not going to get into the city as much. Yeah. A little more of a laid back lifestyle. Yeah, if you want, it's kind of like Beaverton light. If you want to be a little bit farther out, a little bit maybe more in the country, a little bit quieter, a little bit more quaint, like Paul said, you know, you've got an old town. Hillsboro might be a good spot for you. And if you do want something with a little bit more energy, instead of having to go all the way downtown, you can just go right next door to Beaverton. You know, go to downtown Beaverton, go to the bars and restaurants there. So good spot for somebody that doesn't necessarily need to be going to Portland all the time, and maybe a little bit more budget conscious. Yeah, absolutely. So these are some of the most popular areas that we get asked about. These are areas that are, you know, growing, thriving, you know, in particular for young professionals. So if you are thinking about moving to the Portland area, if you're going to be relocating here soon, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, or click the link down below in the description of the video. Schedule a Zoom call with us. We can talk about your timeline. We can put together a game plan. We can be your boots on the ground here in Portland and in Oregon, and help you with that process along the way. Make sure and hit the like button if this video helped you. That way we know we're doing a good job. And if you want to see more videos about what it's like to live in Oregon, hit the subscribe button and tap the bell. That way you'll get notified each time we drop a new video. Until next time, we appreciate you watching. Take care, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Thanks.